സന്തോഷവുമായി പോയിടാം നാം യേശുവിനായി സാക്ഷികളായിടാം. പോയിടാം നാം.
Reading 2 Samuel chapter 10 verses from 1 to 19. Sometime afterwards, the king of the Ammonites died, and his son Hanun succeeded him. David said, I will deal loyally with Hanun, son of Nahash, just as his father dealt loyally with me. So David sent envoys to console him concerning his father. When David's envoys came into the land of Ammonites, the prince of the Ammonites said to the Lord Hanun, do you really think that David is honoring your father just because he has sent messengers with condolence to you? Has not David sent his envoys to you to search the city, to spy it out, and to overthrow it? So Hanun seized David's envoys, shaved off half the beards of each, cut off their garments in the middle at their hips, and sent them away. When David was told, he sent to meet them, for the men were greatly ashamed. The king said, remain at Jericho until your beards have grown, and then return. When the Ammonites saw that they had been audacious to David, the Ammonites sent and hired the Arameans of Beth Rehob and Arameans of Zohab, 20,000 foot soldiers, as well as the king Maacah 1,000 men, and the men of Tob 12,000 men. When David heard of it, he sent Joab and all the armies with the warriors. The Ammonites came out and drew up in the battle array against the entrance of the gate. But the Arameans of Zohab and Rehob and the men of Tob and Maacah were by themselves in the open country. When Joab saw that the battlefield was set against him both in front and in the near, he chose some of the picked men of Israel and arrayed them against Arameans. The rest of his men he put in charge of his brother Abishai, and he arrayed them against the Ammonites. He said, if the Arameans are too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the Ammonites are too strong for you, then I will come and help you. Be strong and let us be courageous for the sake of God and the cities of our God. And may the Lord do what seems good to him. So Joab and the people who were with him moved forward into the battle against Arameans and fled before him. When the Ammonites saw that the Arameans fled, they likewise fled before Abishai and entered the city. The Joab returned from fighting against the Ammonites and came to Jerusalem. But when the Arameans saw that they had been defeated by Israel, they gathered themselves together. Hadadezer brought out the Arameans who were beyond the Euphrates, and they came to Helam, the squab and the commander of the army of Hadadezer at their head. When it was told to David, he gathered all Israel together and crossed the Jordan and came to Helam. The Arameans arrayed themselves against David and fought with him. The Arameans fled before Israel, and David killed of Arameans 700 chariot teams and 40,000 horsemen, and wounded Scoab, the commander of their army, so that he died there. When all the kings who were servants of the Hadadezer saw that they had been defeated by Israel, they made peace with Israel and became subject to them. So the Arameans were afraid to help the Ammonites anymore. This is the word of the Lord.